And God will judge those that will turn to this outside help and not turn to Him. And this is the fifth woe now. Verse 1, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. And I'd say to you and me, it has a message for us. Woe to you and me today when we turn away from God and expect to turn to some little materialistic or human help. Don't misunderstand. God doesn't intend you to go out into space, launch out there, and just hang up in space. God expects you to be reasonable and all that sort of thing. But in the final analysis, what does have top priority as far as help is concerned? Where do you go to for help? To your banker? Even to your preacher? Or to this radio teacher here? Where do you go for help? Don't go to us. Every now and then somebody writes me, what should I do? Friends, I don't know what to do in many of the problems that arise in my own life. And I don't think you should turn to man. In the final analysis, now it's nice to ask for advice, but in the final analysis, we go to God for help. And the Lord, you remember, said in Psalms 27, some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we'll remember the name of the Lord our God. Sure, let's have our chariots. I think we're going to need our atom bombs, by the way. It looks that way in this world today. The Lord Jesus said, a strong man armed keepeth his house. Be sure that you don't act foolish, because faith is not foolishness. And my feeling is that a materialistic philosophy says that it's smart to trust in the stock market or your bank or these things, and that you don't need God is a tremendous mistake today. Now, God says in verse 5, as birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also, He will deliver it, and passing over, He will preserve it. Now, He did that in the days of Hezekiah. We're yet to see that in this book of Isaiah. There's one thing for sure, the Assyrian will not take this city. God says in verse 8, then shall the Assyrian fall with the sword. Not of a mighty man. God says it's not because you're going to be strong enough to drive him out. You won't. God says, I will deal with the Assyrian. And the Lord's people are not to deal with Egypt. Their confidence should be in the Lord. That's the great message of this chapter. It's meant for us today, and may God apply it to your heart and to my heart today. How I need this, how I need to be reminded that I don't need to go to Egypt. I need to look to the Lord.